This call is being recorded.
All right, you guys. Well, Bob has hopped on and fell back off, so we'll wait for him to get back in. But you guys, I wanted to say how excited Jake and I are to have Bob on the call. He has just been such a huge presence for Forever Green. Bob is the president of international operations for Forever Green, and he's been involved in the network marketing industry for about 28 years. Along with his family, they launched a company called New Ways International in 1989, and they took that concept from the kitchen table to over $1 billion in annual revenue. And so, you know, they say who you hang out with is who you become. Ding, ding, ding. He wrote the best-selling book, Whose Ladder Are You Climbing, in 2004. If you haven't read it, I recommend that you get it. In 2007, he founded the Trevani Foundation, which allowed him to leverage network marketing to become the fastest-growing child sponsorship program in the world. In 2008, he joined the Multi-Level Marketing International Association as a member of the board of directors. That is a huge honor and gave him huge knowledge, you know, about the network marketing industry. He's lectured on 6 continents, and he's been in over 100 countries, and this is what really blew me away. He's an accomplished research scientist and product developer. That's a big deal for a company like FG Express. For those of you who are in the scouting life, Bob is a recipient of the prestigious Silver Beaver Award, and it's the highest honor given to someone who's an adult scout leader in the Boy Scouts of America. That is a big deal. And Bob came out of retirement once he saw what was going on with FG Express, and he said he believes that this will be greater in size and scope than Okay, so I'm back on again.
Jane, are you there?
Yep, we're here. Are you there, Bob? Can you hear me?
I'm here.
Okay, good. So you guys, what I was saying when I got bumped out of the call, he believes that FG Express is going to be greater in size and scope than all the previous networks that he has worked with combined. And he lives in Utah with his wife, Julie, and his youngest son, Bob Jr. And without further ado, Bob, thank you so much for taking time to be on our call this morning. And I'd like to start out our call with this question. As you took a look at FGX, what was the appeal to get you to come out of retirement? Because you obviously didn't need to.
Jane, well, first of all, thank you so much for honoring me and allowing me to be on your call this morning. What a great blessing and privilege it is for me. It's been exciting to watch your team grow and see all the great things that you're doing, and I certainly appreciate that. What we might ask some of your callers to do is just mute themselves if they can. I can hear just a little bit of feedback there. Some of you might want to just try to mute if you can. I appreciate that. And listen, I really appreciate your question too, Jane. I have been very blessed in this industry. It's really the only thing I've ever done. And I started when I was a teenager, building some of these companies and getting involved, and it's really been a great experience. And as you stated, I retired in 2006, and I dabbled in a lot of different things, got heavily involved in some charity work, and that was really a lot of fun and took me to some great places. But when I was called by Ron Williams, who's the CEO and founder of Forever Green, I was really compelled by his story. And, I had hired Ron to be my sales director at a previous company many years ago, and we just maintained a very good relationship. I have a tremendous amount of respect for him. And, I took his call and I listened to what he had to say. And Jane, like yourself and probably other people on the call, I've taken a lot of calls over the years from people talking about companies and products and different models and concepts, and many of them are very, very good. But I just really wasn't intrigued by anything that I had heard. But as he began to describe this business model, it became very interesting to me. And I told him that I would take a look, but really it was going to be based entirely on the performance of the product. And I think in his good wisdom, he did not try to sell me on the product. He didn't try to overwhelm me with testimony and science and anecdotal stories and these types of things. He just said, look, take the product and give it to the people in your life that can benefit the most. And I really appreciated that approach because I knew that the company was going to then really be based entirely on the merits and quality of the product and nothing beyond that. And I really appreciated that. And I took him up on his offer. I went to the office, I picked up the product, and I began to pass it out. And really started to get some incredible statements back from people who were using the product. And I think the greatest experience I had was with my father. He suffers from extreme loss of feeling in both of his feet. Just a really sad situation. He worked for the Pepsi-Cola bottling company most of his life. He drank a lot of sugar. I just think he became a victim of the environment that we live in, like many people do today. And he lost the feeling in his feet to the extent that he could not drive his car. And he couldn't feel the gas pedal, couldn't feel the brake pedal. And I was watching my father really kind of deteriorate before my eyes. And I thought, this product is a product that really promotes microcirculation. It's one of the many benefits of the product. And I thought, I'm gonna try it on my dad. And so I told him, I said, I want you to cut the power strips in two lengthwise, put them on the bottom of your feet, and go to bed every night with the product on your feet. And let's just see if this helps you. And, he was just at a point where he was willing to try just about anything. And he tried the product for about 30 days, and he called me on the phone, and he said, hey, I was laying in bed last night, and for the first time in many years, I can feel a heat sensation and a tingling sensation in my feet. Wow. And I said, well, Dad, that's probably a good thing. Well, let's stay on the product. Let's kind of see how this goes. And he stayed on the product for another 90 days. And my oldest son was getting married. And at the reception, my father comes to the reception, and I can see him walking across the room, and I can tell that he's just walking better. And as he comes up to me, it was really a tender moment. He came up to me, and he put his hands behind the back of my head, and he pulled me in really close, and he said, son, I want to tell you something. He said, this is a miracle product. He says, I don't know what these things are, but they have really changed my life. He says, I think I've had a full recovery of all of the feeling in both of my feet. And I said, Dad, that is really amazing. I'm just so happy. And it was a very emotional moment, but he looked at me and he said, listen, you need to know something. He says, I drove here today. He says, I haven't driven my car in a long time, but I can feel my feet. And it was that moment that I made my mind up that we would take this product and we would spread the message of really the power of this product around the world. We would take this message to the masses. And as I got more involved and more entrenched in the company, it really began to dawn on me that we had a product that was so powerful yet so small, it could be delivered like a letter in a very small envelope to just about every address in the world. And I really loved that concept. I thought, wow, this is great. I mean, I've been with so many, I've seen so many opportunities and been in companies where it just wasn't possible to take a bulky product across country borders and really develop the market internationally. And really you could consider that a form of discrimination. Certainly companies look at some countries and say, we refuse to do business there for one reason or another, mostly financial or logistical. And so, there's a lot of good people who get left out of this global economy and the opportunity to be involved in a network. And I think truly valued that. And it really began to dawn on me that there wasn't a country, with very, very few exceptions, where we could not operate and do business, which meant that every person that you'd ever met, we could reach out to and we could bring them into our business immediately. And I'd never seen anything like it. I came out of traditional network marketing where companies kind of move from country to country to country, and they do it as it becomes economically possible or as marketing opportunities become realized. And I had been one of those owners that had this conversation hundreds and hundreds of times with great leaders who would say, oh, I wish so desperately you were open in Australia because I've got a team in Australia. And I'd have to say, well, someday we'll be there. I wish you were open in Brazil. I wish you were open in Taiwan. I wish you were open in Japan. I wish you were open in China. And it's an uncomfortable conversation because you desperately want to be able to support these people and help them and help them expand their organizations internationally. But that is a conversation that I will never have to have in this business, because this is a company that is open for business in over 200 countries, 212 countries and jurisdictions around the world. And that means that everybody that you know through your social media and all your email contacts, anybody that you ever met, including all the people they've ever met, can participate. They can come into this company and they can participate. And it truly means that there are over 7 billion people that we can reach out to with this business model. And I just love that. And I thought, if I'm going to come out of retirement, this is the kind of business that I want to do. So I joined the company, and about a month later, we had a very interesting phone call. A phone call came in from the FDA. And, again, being in these businesses for many years, typically when the FDA calls, it's not a good thing. And we kind of held our breath. But, we had submitted our product to the FDA for them to review for the potential for the product to be recognized as a medical device for pain relief. We knew it was a long shot. We didn't think we really had a chance of that happening, but we were being completely overwhelmed with testimonials. People just loved the product. We thought, if we don't have some sort of an understanding or something worked out with the FDA, we certainly operate at great risk because it's hard to control when you have 10,000 people out there that are all talking about the amazing power strips. And the FDA, they weren't calling to get after us. They were actually calling to tell us that they had approved our listing as a medical device and that indeed we could claim pain relief. And that was another first for me. I had not seen any company that was able legally to make the claim of pain relief. And I got pretty excited at that point. As you can imagine, the stock of the company began to rise. It's a publicly traded company. The volumes continued to increase. We continued to expand around the world. And I could tell that I had made a very good choice in companies. And so, before the company even officially opened its doors last May, they had generated over $100 million in revenue, put a lot of great people in the business. And like I said, it's now expanded to over 200 countries. And it's an exciting time. And of course, we've just had the launch of our new product, our new weight loss product, which opens up a lot of additional doors. And Jan, I'm happy to talk about that if you want me to take just a few minutes and talk about Ketopia as well.
Yeah, as we've launched Ketopia, we've hit a few bumps in the road with, I think that they didn't realize how hungry people were to lose weight. But Jake and I have said, well, we've carried around this weight for this long. We're going to wait until things are right and we get our product when it's ready to be shipped. And, as we launch Ketopia, where do you see this product taking FG Express, Bob?
Well, it's hard to imagine for me personally that anything could be as great as power strips. And one of the things that I love making sure people understand is that, this is a product that is launched in the U.S. It's a great product for the U.S. market right now. It will take time to have it registered in other countries around the world. It's not going to seamlessly cross borders the way that power strips do. And so, I encourage people to continue to build the international marketplace with the flagship product, power strips. And that needs to continue to be the case. And it's a great door opener. It's a great way to get involved in these other markets and build internationally. But as this Ketopia product becomes available in some of these international markets, you'll definitely want to jump on the bandwagon. And, I'm such a believer in this product. I was a bit of a cheater. I know the chemistry extremely well with my background in research science. And I started on the ingredients way back last December, and really kind of got full-blown into ketosis by January. And I'd done a lot of research on ketosis. Of course, all of us are familiar with the Atkins diet, and I think a lot of us cringed when we realized that you had to eat 4 or 5 days worth of meat, basically, to put yourself into ketosis, which is a pretty hard thing for a lot of people to do. In fact, most people actually never made it. But probably everyone on the phone will recall that those that were able to kind of eat their way into ketosis through this mountain of meat, they began to experience sustained and very rapid weight loss. And there's a reason for that, and it's pretty simple, actually. We're born in a state of ketosis. It is an optimal state of health and well-being. We eventually kind of eat our way out of ketosis because of carbohydrate introduction, sugars, and complex sugars and other things. And our bodies are kind of interesting. They latch onto these carbohydrates and these sugars, and they want to burn those first. And we know that our bodies, they don't burn carbs very efficiently, certainly not as efficiently as they burn fats. And so we kind of eat our way out of ketosis very early on. And the Atkins approach was simply a way to put us back in a state of perfect well-being and back into a state of ketosis, where the body could convert back from using carbohydrates to fuel itself and back to fats, which is an extraordinarily efficient way of fueling the body. And of course, we store up this fat, and so we get the extra complement of beginning to lose this excess fat and this excess weight. Well, these researchers down at the University of South Florida had really been studying this approach to putting the body into ketosis. And after years of research and development and discovery, they found a way to put the body into ketosis very, very rapidly. And this is kind of an exciting thing, because imagine putting yourself into a state of ketosis, fat-burning ketosis, nutritional ketosis, without having to kind of eat your way into it. And it really, truly is a revolutionary concept. Well, it's something that I had embraced early on. I began taking the ingredients. At the time, I weighed 218 pounds. And 3 months later, I'm on the scale. I'm at 178. I'm approaching the weight that I had in high school. Well, thank you. But, my story is actually very unique because, I'm a 2-time open heart surgery patient. Unfortunately, I had open heart surgery here in November of 2013. So I kind of have to monitor myself and watch myself very carefully. As a result, I had high blood pressure, high cholesterol, high triglycerides, prescriptions, which I just absolutely abhor, beta blockers for my heart to keep the heart kind of in rhythm. Obviously, there were blood thinners that were taken, and high blood pressure medicine. Well, I came back from the cardiologist last Wednesday, and it was probably the very best visit to the cardiologist that I've had in the last 21 years. And it was unfortunate. I started seeing the cardiologist when I was a really young man for various heart conditions. But when I came out of there, they'd done the blood work. They did a stress test. They kind of ran the gamut. And the cardiologist looked at me and he just shook his head. And he just said, listen, he said, your triglycerides are way, way down. He said, your cholesterol is way, way down. He says, it's obvious you've lost weight. He said, you've lost close to 40 pounds. He said, your cholesterol is way, way down. And I said, well, that's all good news. What does that mean? He says, I'm going to take you off your high blood pressure medicine. So it's gone.
Oh,
He says, I'm going to cut your beta
awesome.
blockers in half. So he took me from 50 milligrams to 25 milligrams. And, I walked out of there and I was extraordinarily happy. And, one of the things that really gets overlooked with ketosis is that the overall state of well-being is so dramatically enhanced with this product. And weight loss really is just a simple byproduct of converting the body from burning carbs to fats. And so I'm a believer, and I've watched, my muscle tone has come back. I'm 47 years old. It's a little harder to put muscle on than it was when I was a young buck, but this is a product that truly works. I have personal experience with it. I'm watching friends and colleagues that are losing a pound a day or more with the product. And it's a healthy, sustainable weight loss because it's a natural process. It's converting, again, it's putting the body into a state where we can burn through nutritional ketosis stored fat. Highly efficient for the body, very powerful way to do it. So that's the approach. We now have a product that is guaranteed to put the body into nutritional ketosis within an hour. Never been done before. And this is a company that has the exclusive worldwide global rights to the patented formulas related to the studies and related to weight loss. No other company can make that claim legally. And as you can imagine, the run on the store has been incredible. We can't keep it in stock. We're trying desperately. We've kind of bought up the world supply of the ingredients required to make this product. And it just really puts us in a very, very powerful position. And it's an enviable position for sure. But anybody that's on this call that is involved in weight loss or has associates, colleagues, friends that are interested in weight loss, you really need to get on board the Ketopia bandwagon because this is going to be an extremely fast-moving segment of our business. I believe that it will become the biggest discussion in weight loss in the last 10 years. And I also believe that in very short order, it will overshadow Power Strips and become the primary product or flagship product for North America. And we're just going to work very hard to keep this product in stock and in the hands of the consumers because it really, really works. And it's going to build massive, massive organizations. And so anyway, I hope that everybody's excited about this product. Like I said, I have a personal witness. I know that it works. It's going to work for a lot of good people. It's going to change a lot of lives. And there are people who are going to make absolute fortunes with this product.
We intend to be, our team intends to be one of those teams. And we can see we've had tremendous growth in the last month and a half since Ketopia was launched. And, for those of you who are on this call and for those of you who are going to listen to the replay later, we want you to know how exciting it is to see the leadership at corporate take the bull by the horns and say, things aren't going well as far as getting products shipped. We're going to step back, take a look at things, and see what we can do for improvement. And so it sounds like a new building has been acquired so that we can have the production of Ketopia products done right there in, the Orem, Lehigh area so that we have full-time access to Ketopia products.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And listen, when you've got a revolution like we have launched here against obesity, there's a lot of people that are going to come out of the woodworks and they all want it. And there's, I'm sure, a bit of a greed factor in there. There's a lot of people that want this product, and there's a lot of people that want the ingredients. Well, we've kind of tied them up, and we've got the exclusivity on the product. And so there's a lot of fighting going on behind the scenes. But, through it all, Forever Green emerges as the only company in the world that can legally sell this product for weight loss. And that's a big statement. And it really means that it puts you in the fast track. And there's a lot of people that will do extremely well, both with their health and financially because of the decisions that we've been making. But, yeah, all that wrangling and all that kind of jostling for position definitely has made it difficult to get some of those orders out. But we figure right now we're about 2 weeks in backlog, and the more orders just keep plugging in. But I tell everybody, listen, you got to get in the line, get in the queue, and don't miss your opportunity because when it's your turn, the product will come up, and we just got to work hard to position our leaders now so we can take advantage of the growth.
That's right. And so, Bob, finally, if you were a new person just taking a look at FG Express in all the products that we have, both Farmers Market and Forever Green, as a brand new person, knowing what you know about the network marketing industry and the experiences that you've had, building internationally, locally, everything, what are 2 or 3 nuggets of gold that you would share with the brand new person just coming on board?
Well, I read an interesting report here a couple of years ago. They'd gone out and interviewed all the top income earners in our industry, the top 100, and it was interesting to see the commonalities that they all shared. And one of the common elements to all of their success, and I, people kind of groan when I throw this out there because it just seems so old school, but it's always worked. And that is, listen, sit down with a pen and a piece of paper and start writing out your lists. And you just have to think for a moment about all the people that could benefit from the pain relieving benefits of power strips, and write their names down. You need to have a big list of all the people that are good professional networkers that will see and capture the vision of this product. Then you need to write a list of all the people from all the different countries that you know. And you can start with Australia and end with Zimbabwe and everything in between, because there are 212 to choose from. And now you've got 3 pretty amazing lists. Well, now you can go back and you can add a 4th list to that, and that's a list of all those people that can be impacted by what may be considered the greatest weight loss discovery of the last decade. And that becomes that becomes a very powerful list. And it really comes back to list creation and identifying people that you can put in your business, and then reaching out to those people with real boldness. One of the things that I was on a conference call yesterday, and I kind of threw out there that I've got these incredible scripts that I've developed over the last couple of years, and they come in an email format, they come in a text format, they're in various formats, and I'm happy to share those with you, Jane, and you can pass those out if you'd like. But we are a society that we don't call people anymore because we're all carrying around these smartphones, and when people call, we look at the phone, and if it's somebody we want to talk to, we answer. If it's somebody we don't want to talk to, we hit cancel. And that's just the way things are. But we know that everybody is watching texts, and most people are responding to texts. And one of the things that I share with people is, look, make your lists and just start texting these people, and just reach out to them very casually and make a connection, and just tell them, hey, it's been a while, I'd love to reconnect, and just start a casual connection without any business discussion. And as things begin to develop back and forth through texting, you can then begin to introduce some of these concepts. And I'm telling you, it is a brilliant, brilliant way to reach out to people. It's not intrusive. It is quite broadly accepted. And I just tell people, listen, if you really want to be successful in this business, why don't you set a goal to send 1,000 messages, right? 1,000 messages. People say, I don't know 1,000 people. And I tell them, yeah, you do. You do know 1,000 people. You don't even know you know 1,000 people. They look in their contact list. They've got 300 or 400 names, and they always shake their head and they think I'm crazy. But, if we begin to add up the people we have in our contacts, and the people we have in our email database, and the people that we have through social media, and the people we have in Skype and LinkedIn, and all of the other databases that we have, you absolutely know 1,000 people. In fact, you might know 2,000, 3,000, 5,000, 10,000. But you've just got to be bold enough to reach out to those people with these short, very powerful messages. And, at the end of the day, building these organizations is all about math. It's a mathematical equation. I have people that come back to me and say, I'm having a hard time building. And I say, well, how many messages have you sent? Well, I haven't sent too many. Well, I sent a few. I didn't get a response. Well, that's the answer to your question. The one thing that we can't expect is we can't expect to make $10,000 a month if we're not willing to do what people who make $10,000 a month do. And the one thing they all do, they reach out to a lot of people, and they reach out with a very profound message. And the one thing I've said to people from the beginning of my career is, listen, there's only 3 things that you've really got to do well in this business. You've got to have something to say, and I guarantee you we have something to say. You've got to say it well, and you've got to say it often. And if you will have something to say, you will say it well, and you will say it often, you will build your business. And it's just a matter of rinsing and repeating, right? Do it over and over and over and over again. And at the end of the day, building organizations is a mathematical equation. And so that's what I'd encourage everyone to do. There's a lot of people that are going to be yelling and screaming about ketosis and about putting the body into instant ketosis. I would say that it will be like a virtual land grab. And so you've got to be out there on the rooftops, and you've got to be declaring and discussing everything you know about ketosis and putting the body into instant, provable ketosis. And if you do that, you will cast a broad net, and you will bring a lot of people into your organization.
Wow, you guys, did you catch that? Have something to say it well, and say it often. I think that's one of the best things I have heard in a long, long time. And I know that we've talked a lot about having a strong elevator speech, 1 minute, you know, 1 minute conversation you can have with somebody about what do you do. And guys, I'm telling you, Bob, you gave us a lot of ammunition today in the information that you covered in this very short call. We've gone a little bit over what we normally go, you guys, and I appreciate you staying in there, but I really feel like having you on this call is one of the biggest blessings for our team. We have some really amazing leadership coming up, growing up in our business right now, and it's so exciting to see the excitement that they have. And guys, I'm telling you, Jake and I have never, ever felt so strongly that we are in the right place with the right time, with the right people and the right products, ever. And I could sit and visit with Bob like for 3 days straight, just picking his brain about things, because I believe who you hang out with is who you become like. And Jake and I are looking forward. I mean, we've seen videos that our upline, Troy, has shared with us of the lifestyle that Bob's family lives as a result of building a successful business. And I'm telling you, you guys you can't even have a clue at what an amazing life Bob's family has lived because of hard work, focus, determination, and a passion for excellence. And he's carrying that over to us. And so spend time, get to know Bob. When you're in Utah, spend every second you can with him and pick his brain and get to know him better, because I'm telling you, I mean, we have the best. We have Bob, we have Jeff Graham, we have, of course, Ron Williams, we have Brenda Wong, we have Randy Crane. I mean, the leadership we have at corporate is amazing, and it is not a mistake you guys are where you're at. I believe that we are all here together by Providence, and so we just are so appreciative of each of you taking time to hop on the call. Bob, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy, busy day to be on the call with us.
You're welcome, Jane. My pleasure.
Go out and rock it and have an awesome day today. And if you have any questions, again, Jake and I are on the road this week. Please message us on Facebook or send me a text. Don't call because we aren't getting your phone calls. So you guys have an awesome week. Thank you so much for joining us, and have a great rest of your day, and we will talk to you soon. Take care. Bye.